So today I'm going to be touching on a topic that we've been getting a tremendous amount of inquiries on simply because people are misinformed. People like to speculate based on news articles. And what we're going to talk about and focus on today is actually citizenship, what many people think is descent, but is actually through another process, which essentially could be considered descent, but it's not actually so through the laws here in Serbia. Now, before we get into this is not legal advice. This is not on how to obtain your citizenship as someone who is Serbian or other means. We do help our clients with obtaining citizenship on various methods. This could be through naturalization, through descent, through the topic I'm going to be talking to you about here, and including by citizenship by merit here in Serbia, which is an exceptional program that not everybody qualifies for, but is a lot quicker than the naturalization path, and sometimes it could be even quicker through the descent program depending on the time of year that we are applying for. So the citizenship program is a very hot program and is something that we're covering for many clients all around the world. You don't actually physically have to be in Serbia to qualify for citizenship by descent or this citizenship platform that we're talking about here, or even by merit. We can do all of this outside of the country, and the only one that actually needs to be done and requires you to be in Serbia is the naturalization process, because of course you're going to have to go through your temporary residency, your permanent residency, then you apply. So the topic I'm going to be talking to you about today is the article that came out through a news outlet, and it's called the Vulin's Citizenship Law, and supposedly people are saying that it's threatening Serbia's visa-free regime. But I'm going to talk about this article, read a couple points about it, and then I'm going to actually explain to why this doesn't actually matter. Because this is already kind of in existence and something that we've been helping our clients with who do not qualify through the descent platform. So the article states that members of the Aleksandar Vulin movement suggest that belonging to the Serbian people be proven through a public document in which a person declares himself as a Serb. Robert Kozma from the Green Left Front tells Vreme that such a solution could lead the EU to reconsider a visa-free regime. Members of Parliament Socialist Movement Bojan Trobica and George Komlenski proposed a new one at the beginning of May citizenship law of the Republic of Serbia, with the request that it be discussed under urgent procedure. In the explanation, they stated that they want to edit and modernize the existing rules. So this is something that we have to look at, is they're not adding a new law to this platform here. They're modifying and editing an existing law, and this is something that obviously we here at Relocation Serbia are going to be keeping an eye on, and this is something that we've been looking at quite frequently, because the thing is that Serbia, as much as the people here in Serbia don't think it's a thing here, but Serbia is becoming a very sought after place for people to move to get citizenship and so on and so forth. And the rules are changing. The times that we're seeing for temporary residency are being reduced. So what once was, you set up a business and you get a 1-year residency, even a 3-year residency off the bat. Now we're seeing individuals getting 6 months because what they've been seeing is people have been setting up these businesses just to get their residency and not actually doing anything with that business. And so what they're doing with some individuals is you're setting up a business is that you're now going to be getting only 6 months so that you can prove that you're actually trying. You don't actually have a quote, but you have to try. You can't just say, I have a business, have a bank account, and do nothing with it. You have to show invoices, proposals, so on and so forth. Same thing with the citizenship program. We are seeing more documents being requested by the ministers, by the police. We are also seeing that the citizenship by merit, there has been changes to what countries are actually, these passports are being granted to as well. So things are changing because there's such an influx of individuals that are looking to move here in one way, shape, or form. Belonging to the Serbian people could be proven by birth certificate, a certificate of other information from official records of the competent state body. The proponents state that a public document could also serve as evidence if it undoubtedly shows that the person declared himself to be a member of the Serbian people. So this is what I'm going to be touching on in a second here. And one of the things that has changed, because I myself, when I came here to Serbia, I applied for citizenship by descent. Well, I would say by the nation of people. However, I did not need original paperwork. I was able to show my parents' copied paperwork. I had my original birth certificate. That was pretty well all I had, and I was able to apply on that basis. Now, the rules have changed, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second here as well, as to what exactly has changed. So, the thing that we have to take into consideration here is that the article says that EU angle and it could, hinder the EU access. That's nor here nor there, and that's not what I'm trying to talk to you about. Is that this law already exists, and it's called Article 23. And Article 23 is under that law states that under Serbian's current citizenship law, a non-resident member of the Serbian people who is 18 plus, legally capable, and signs a statement recognizing Serbia as their state can be admitted to Serbian citizenship without giving up another citizenship. So that answers another question. So there's this whole discussion of, can you hold multiple citizenships when you're applying through this method? Yes, so it doesn't matter if you're American, doesn't matter if you're Australian, Canadian, whatever it might be. The only thing that does matter is if your home country that you're applying to does not allow you to hold dual citizenships, but Serbia does allow you to hold dual citizenships through this platform and applying through Article 23. Now, how easy is it? Well, it's not as easy as you may think. It's not that you simply say, hey, I want to sign that document saying that I acknowledge that I am a Serbian individual. That's not what happens here, and we've seen this for many cases of our clients, some that were in Canada, some that were from Australia, some that were from South Africa, some from Western Europe, so on and so forth. So just because you sign that document does not mean that you're recognized as a Serbian people. You need to prove that you are Serbian. And one of the confusions is that individuals think that, hey, my parents were born in Yugoslavia, and that means that I'm a, part of the Serbian people. not so quick. When it was Yugoslavia, so Yugoslavia contained many different countries. So Yugoslavia had Serbia, of course, but it also had Croatia. It also had Slovenia. It also had Hungary. It also had other countries in there. And so you could have been in Yugoslavia, but you could have been Croatian, you could have been Hungarian, you could have been a different ethnicity. And so that's what they want you to prove. They want you to prove that you are actually part of the Serbian people, that your parents were actually Serbian based on either their documents that you're providing, or something of your documents that you are providing. And this could be an array of different documents that we have actually pulled for our clients. And one of the things that happened recently with one of our clients is he was born in South Africa. He then moved to Canada. His dad actually registered him here in Serbia, when he was smaller. And the problem was that the court interpreter, the city court interpreter, misspelt his name in the registry. And so when he went to apply for his citizenship many years ago, he was denied because his names didn't match up. And it was no fault of the client. It was actually the fault of a translator who didn't know how to actually translate the English to Serbian, and they just kind of just made up their own thing. And so one thing we had to do was go in, do a name change for our client. Of course, this was all done without the client coming into the country. Did the whole name change, and then we applied for their citizenship based on this Article 23. So after many months went through, they then got, or should I say, we got a response saying, hey, listen, this individual needs to prove that him or his parents were of Serbian ethnicity. And so we had to contact the opština, or the registry where his parents are from, and actually get that document produced, and then resubmit. And a month later, his approval came in, which was great. You can also attempt these things on your own through the consulates. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but what we've heard from many clients is the consulates are not the most efficient when it comes to communication. One of the individuals that came to us, he applied for Serbian citizenship, and through the consulate. And what happened was, a similar process was that the ministries here in Belgrade, because regardless of where you're applying from, everything has to go through Belgrade. So if you're applying through a consulate in the United States, Canada, in the Asian countries, wherever it is, all that paperwork goes through Belgrade. And so Belgrade ended up notifying the consulate, hey, listen, this individual needs to add more information or prove more information to obtain his citizenship. Unfortunately, the consulate didn't think it was urgent, failed to let that individual know, hey, you have 60 days to provide X, Y, and Z documents, and then we can reapply. So they did not let the individual know. They let that pass. Next thing you know, he gets a rejection letter and saying, hey, listen, and then he ended up calling us and saying, hey, listen, this is what happened. This is the solution. And he ended up taking his paperwork over to us, and we are able to do that because we are literally 5 minutes away from the police station where we can go hand in the documents. They call us on our phone. They don't have to make long distance trips. We can actually go to the police station to hand in the documents. We can go to the registries to pull the documents here in Serbia, and you do not have to do this through all the hoops and bounds that you have to do so by doing this out of another country. And so if you're looking to deal with that situation, you can. So what I'm trying to say is This law that's coming into play here, or that they're discussing here, is not something new. They're looking to modernize it. They're looking to make it easier because there is so many requests that people are getting so bombarded. One thing I'd want to note before I cut this video off too is because we see a lot of individuals say, hey, I want to get it myself and I want my children to do it as well and get it based off of me. The best thing going forward is to obtain your citizenship for yourself first. Make sure that you get it and that you have your passport or your ID card or both, and then apply for your children. The last thing you want to do is apply all three at once, because when you apply, you don't know who's going to come in line first. So if you hand in for yourself and your children and that paperwork goes to Belgrade and they get the paperwork, it could be that they receive your children's paperwork first before yours, and they're going to be like, well, the children is looking to obtain citizenship based on the parent. Then they're going to look at you in the computer system. Oh, the parent doesn't have it, denied. That's typically how it goes. So this is something that I wanted to point out to you in this video. If you're interested in obtaining your citizenship, regardless if it's through descent, Article 23, merit, naturalization, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to look over your case and apply for you, because there's nothing like setting up that second, third, or fourth passport.